Come on, Pelly, it's 6 o'clock, mate. We've got to start EDFL TV. Come on. Come on, Pelly, EDFL TV. Get up, mate. I know you're a bit sore from the weekend.
All right, let's go.
Thanks, Luke.
Hello and welcome to EDFL TV. Back in the hot seat, I am Matthew Pillios, and we're down here at Melbourne Sports Myotherapy Clinic down here. Luke Warnett, man down at Aberfeldy, who looks after him down there, also full-time at the North Melbourne Football Club. So he invited us down here to give a little plug to his new business. So good to be here.
Yeah, potential sponsor of the EDFL, and but importantly, how's the back there, mate? You're getting a little bit of a rub and a crack there, the old spine there, and the muscles getting some loosening after a big game on the weekend.
Yeah, first game back after a bit of a layoff.
Yeah.
Post-Europe depression, cured with a good game of footy and a good win.
Yeah, it has been a very long time out of the EDFL TV web spotlight. Great suntan you've got as well. But look, we've had some big names over the last 8 weeks, but mate, none bigger than yourself, and it's great to have Michael Pell back on EDFL TV.
Good to be back, Matty, and it's good to be back in the EDFL fold, back for finals footy. So
how exciting is it?
Good weather too on the weekend. I know someone told me that whilst I was away it was a bit wet and muddy, but I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I've been away, mate. But it has been sensational, and it was a very good weekend. Division 1 and 2 finals in the last round of Premier.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go through all those results in just a minute. But Matty, you've been tracking your work on Foxtel the last few weeks, and it means that big news that broke last week around the EDFL circles is that EDFL TV will be on Foxtel from next week. Aurora 183, me and yourself. I queue it if you need be, but we'll be on there at 8:30 next Thursday on Aurora 183.
Yeah, it's a great win for the Eastern District Footy League, the only Metro comp to be on Foxtel. And it's 8:30 time slot on a Thursday night, competing with the Channel 9 Footy Show, but EDFL TV will be number one. 2 shows covering all the Division Grand Finals, the best and fairest nights, which you're hosting, all the teams of the year. It's going to be great for the EDFL, and there'll be replays on the Sunday as well. So anyone's got Foxtel or thinking of getting Foxtel, get it on Foxtel TV.
Yep, hurry up and install Foxtel if you don't have it, or get around to someone's house and tune in next Thursday from 8:30. But Matty, it was a huge round of EDFL football. Of course, we concluded with the round 18 of Premier Division, but yesterday was the Essendon for Division 1 semi-finals, and the huge contest between Northern Saints and Glenroy. A huge achievement for the Northern Saints and their coach, Nat Caruso. Of course, his brother Fort didn't play yesterday, hasn't played for a few weeks with an AC injury.
Yep.
But huge win for Northern Saints. They will play in their first senior grand final, the old Bops and the old Falkland Park Football Club, which was dear to the Caruso's heart. Mick Caruso, the president down there, and they got up over Glenroy by 21 points with Rocky Ferraro, the star, kicking 4 goals. And also Feeder Ahmed was also instrumental before he went off at three-quarter time with
He's a final
injury.
Specialist, big feeder.
So a bit of a concern over Feeder Ahmed, but a huge win there for the Northern Saints.
Yeah, congratulations Northern Saints. The people like Peter Lohner and Paul Bruner, the stalwarts, have been there for so long. It's an unbelievable feeling. North Cobra didn't have a lot of success. Northern Saints have worked hard, and for them to be in the Division 1 Grand Finals is enormous. Rocky Ferraro, ex-Greenvale guy, played all his juniors there, knew that ground better than any other player that was playing, and that was a big win for Northern Saints. But Glenroy got off to a good start, but Northern Saints are just a tough, even side across the board, and they play well and they play for each other. Yeah,
they're a thick set, the Northern Saints. They're definitely hard around the ball, and I think Glenroy fancied their chances about running over the top of them late in the game, considering they did have a few injury concerns. Daheg Abdelwahid hobbled around all day, and as I said, Feeder Ahmed went off at three-quarter time, and then also one player down for a majority of the game. And with Glenroy, the fact they nearly overturned a 53-point deficit the last time they met, they really did fancy their chances, but the Northern Saints are stuck at it, and they kicked a couple of goals early in the last quarter to really kill off the contest. So they earned the right to go through to the grand final in 2 weeks' time.
And Fort Caruso back 100% for the grand final of Moe. So whoever has beat them, take them on between Glenroy and Tullamarine. They just get probably the second best player in the comp to come back in. Kite 3 goals. Nazi Abuchi, experienced ex-West Cobra, played a very good job too.
You talk about Tullamarine. They played at Glenroy against Taylors Lakes, kicked 4-7, 31 to 0-1-1 in the first quarter. But that was
great starters.
That was turned around because Taylors Lakes went into half-time with a 5-point lead.
Yeah.
And then it was an arm wrestle from then on in. But Tullamarine in the end, even though they were wasteful in front of the goal, they kicked 9-19 to in the end register a 5-point victory with some huge outs once again, injuries has just riddled them this season. They only had 21 players on the track Thursday night.
Unbelievable.
They had to do the ring around to get one more player to play in the 22 on Sunday. Managed to do so. In the end, they find themselves in a preliminary final next week against Ash Manning's old club, Glenroy. No love lost.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And look, Glenroy would be the most shattered club in history if they didn't make a grand final. Tullamarine have just done a beautiful win. Well done to other Tullamarine footy clubs. Steele, Sayers, Burns and Scott in the best. Adam Scott's had a sensational second half of the season. But we're just pumped for the biggest preliminary final. The Ash Manning factor is so big, and the fact that Glenroy were probably $1.50 to make at least the grand final, and Tullamarine long shots, people were rating him as 5th, 6th or 7th, maybe 7th, but 5th or 6th at the start of the season.
And they were undefeated for a lot of the season.
Yeah, and they've got 9 injuries. They could cause one of the biggest upsets in history, but it's going to be an unbelievable game, and we'll speak about that a little bit later on.
Yep, absolutely. So that will be the Glenroy.
And well done to Taylor's Lakes in a pretty solid season in a very strong Division 1 competition to Mark D'Souza, Captain Mark Morelli and Stevie Burns. All right,
let's go to the Division 2 finals, which were played on Saturday, and Hillside played Moonee Valley, top 2 in the competition. And if ever there was a more dominant team who just polished off a team that's one spot below them on the ladder, it's Hillside. They won by 106 points in the end after trailing at quarter time.
It just shows how good their upside is, and to outscore them by 110 points in 3 quarters in the second sim after quarter time, it's just amazing. Your man, Delizia Lazy, 8 goals for, was phenomenal.
Seen him walking his dog around Middle Street, Hadfield, after I did the radio show in the morning, so maybe that's a recipe to success for Fabio Delizia.
Oh, he's a professional. To train at Melbourne Victory, which is the AFL of soccer, he would be he had a good routine. He would have the best sort of preparation, so he would know. But just some of their best players. Have a look. They got their cream really rose to the top, didn't they, Mike?
Yep, and they find themselves in their first, much like the Northern Saints, their first ever senior grand final. So a great achievement for Scott Absalom and his committee down there at the Hillside Football Club, and of course Stephen Collinyuk as well. Moonee Valley will take on East Keilor. They need to bounce back pretty quickly, Moonee Valley. Let's just go through the East Keilor result, though. They did it pretty comfortably, 43 points over their nearest rival in Keilor Park. Yeah,
it was their start. It really did it for them. And even, I think, the early time in the second quarter, I think they got away to 7 or 8 goals. And mentally, I think Keilor Park knew they couldn't come back. And the second half was sort of pretty even. But, look, well done to Keilor Park on a solid season. To make the finals is always good. But East Keilor, a lot of people were saying that they would challenge Hillside now because, look, don't write off Moonee Valley, but East Keilor have had the wood on Moonee Valley the second half of the season. Moonee Valley are coming off a final loss of 19 goals. How do you recover from that mentally sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's also quickly go through the Westpac Premier Division results if we can. And it was Greenvale 11-point victors over Avondale Heights. Aberfeldy 112-point victors over Maribyrnong Park, tuning up nicely for September.
Brian Allen 7 goals.
29-9 they kick. Good to see him accurate in front of goals. And Keilor, this is probably the upset of the round. Beat Airport West by 54 points. Airport West have now lost their last 2 heading into finals football. Not great signs. Strathmore 175-point victors over Oak Park. Means Oak Park are now relegated. Although we knew that some time ago, they're relegated down to Division 1 now.
Todd Grimer, 13 goals.
And Adam Winter, 9.
Yeah, look, those guys have the ability to score heavily, and they did. And look, the Keilor Airport West game too. There was some indiscretions with the ground earlier. Airport West decided to, just before the game, arrest Daniel Harris and another player. And I think they were a little bit beaten before the game. But Keilor have been very good too. They're always going to be the sort of side once they get going. Yeah. They could knock off, and they've knocked off Marby and Airport West in the last couple of weeks.
And also Essendon Duda Stars saluted their former teammate, Chris Lane, of course, who was also an Oak Park junior, played 8 games in the reserves there this year. So they paid tribute to him with a 57-point win over Pascoe. But Matty, now we have 4 teams left in the Westpac Premier Division. Top of the table clash, Aberfeldy versus Greenvale this Saturday from Highgate Reserve. Give us your thoughts.
It's going to be an unbelievable game. I saw the first game. Aberfeldy dominated them. Greenvale had a very good second quarter, but Aberfeldy really won 3 and a bit quarters. Look, Greenvale are coming good. I think they've played so many more finals than the Aberfeldy side. Yes, Aberfeldy have got a lot of players that played at high level finals, but it's going to be a remarkable game. I mean, Greenville's ins this week. I think Matt Smith will come in, Ben Clifton, James Rowan, Adam McPhee, Chris Burns. Bringing 5 players into a side sometimes can be tough, but they're just so well drilled. They've had a month plan. And for Aberfeldy, they'll have some good ins. Courtney Johns will come in, and they need him to help Mal Michael in the ruck with Dave Fanning injured and Wayne Paddock. Al Cafford could be another one, the Irishman. He came back from overseas. He's kicked 7 goals last week, I think, and 4 the week before. You know, they've got some good players in the twos that could possibly come back as well, Borg, but it's going to be a phenomenal game of football. Aberfeldy, I feel, on paper, nearly have as good as midfield as Greenville. They've got Cabillo and Patak have been extremely good. Obviously, Daniel Connor's going through there as well. Zach O'Brien's the one they need back. My opinion is if these SNVFL players come back, Tipping, Guardi and Faye, I think that's the thing that can get Aberfeldy over the line. If you get 3 guns back in a side, it's going to be extremely close. A flip of the coin, but I just think the experience of finals will hold Greenville in very good stead.
And the other game between Avondale Heights and Airport West. Good to see both those clubs playing in finals football. It's been a long time for Avondale Heights, and first year up in Premier Division, Airport West. They both find themselves playing off in a chance for a preliminary final. Yeah,
it's going to be a great game. Avondale touched them up a couple of weeks ago, especially in that second half. Airport West, though, I'm confident they had a good final series last year. It's going to be a great game of football. There'll be some great matchups. The Patrick Rose factor is probably the biggest thing in this game. If you can kick 4 or less, Airport West got a massive chance. They played Barbero on him last time. I think on a bigger ground, they need to play Fulton or someone more mobile, maybe even Barbudo. They've got to try to double team him. We don't mean to disrespect Avondale, speak about one player, but he's such a key.
At the other end, Marcus Kenny hasn't played the last 2 games.
He'll definitely play this week. Yeah, him and Harris will be back. So I'm confident. I think Airport West will win and upset this game.
Okay, well, Airport West haven't beaten them this year, and they don't match up well against Avondale Heights. So leaves for an intriguing counter. Yeah, look, Avondale.
It's either way. Avondale got a quality side. They spread well, and their midfield's so good this year. Cravino, Young, Free, Grabowski. Megan's been sensational. Just the height factor of Airport West, if it's not a windy day, I think they can really hurt Avondale with their marking.
And a tip for that Aberfeldy?
Greenvale by 10 points and Airport West by a goal.
Okay, good stuff, Matty. I'll go Greenvale and I'll go Avondale Heights.
It's going to be a cracking game of football there.
All right, let's go to the Essendon 4 Division 1 preliminary final between Glenroy and Tullamarine. No love lost between these teams whatsoever. Yeah, there's not. And look at the Ash Manning factor, and they've had some very close games. Who can forget the draw, I think, last year with the 50-metre penalties at the end. They're always good games of football. The good thing is both clubs have a lot of respect for each other. Again, I think Tullamarine have to go in underdogs, but it's going to be a great game of football. And just on the Glenroy front, they should expect a couple of big players back. Brett Pitts missed yesterday, and also Blair Cronin, so if they can bring those two back into the fold. And really, they were in the game for much of yesterday. It was just a couple of costly turnovers. They tried to move the ball inboard a bit probably earlier than they should have out of the defensive half, and they turned it over. They kicked 11 goals in Northern Saints from Glenroy turnovers. So just goes to show they're not that far off the pace.
Definitely. Look, I think they'll beat Tullamarine comfortably. Tullamarine, I think it's a massive effort to make the preliminary final, but Glenroy, for me, too much quality across the board. Will Big Lance Whitnell play?
No.
Okay.
Warmed up yesterday.
Yeah, it was cheeky.
All the Northern Saints boys were looking over.
A bit nervous there because they're short Northern Saints, and no doubt they would have been worried. I just think he'd be so good, and I know it's hard for him to play, but it'd be great for the boys, and definitely worry any backman in Division 1.
Well, Billy Morrison was pretty good up forward yesterday to start the game. Drifted away a bit towards the end, but obviously a lot more mobile than Lance. But I suppose what Lance offers is he takes a good player, and
he does.
He's a presence on the field, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And look, it's even Reece Bloomfield has that similar ability shown too. He can pop up and kick 3 or 4 goals in a final because that big kick, long kick in the full forward, doesn't give a backman much time to react. Who do you like this game?
I think Glenroy will win pretty comfortably, and that's Sunday from Coburg City Oval. Division 2, Matty, the prelim is on the Saturday, and that is from Tullamarine. So Laird Dineen Reserve. It's Moonee Valley versus East Keilor. How do you see this one panning out? Considering that East Keilor's form in the back end of the year has been pretty good, and Moonee Valley's has been, well, a bit less than they would expect.
Well, East Keilor were fighting for finals at the start of the season. They were sort of dwelling around 4th and 5th. They're probably the second best team on form the last 9 weeks. It'd be devastating for Moonee Valley, who I think were 11-0 not to make a grand final. I think they really do. They made it last year. It's going to be a great game of football, but I just think East Keilor are playing extremely well together. They're getting an even effort across the board. Luke Ryan for Moonee Valley, young 17-year-old, has been sensational. Tanner, John O'Brien, Ned Wilson, the top tier players of Moonee Valley really have to fire.
Yep, an injury cloud over Dion Hill, a back-related sort of injury, big hit on Saturday. So he kicked 3 on the weekend. Whether he can get up or not is remains to be seen. But I think Moonee Valley and Charlie Denaro's men will get the chocolates, Matty.
I'm going to go for my old club as well. Moonee Valley just in a cracking game, but best of luck to both sides.
All right, so that's all the games wrapped up for this round. Saturday is the Division 2 preliminary finals and the Premier Division semi-finals. So the venues are Tullamarine Football Ground, which is Laird Reserve, Coburg City Oval, and also Highgate Recreation Reserve. So get along then. And on Sunday, we're back at Coburg City Oval for the Division 1 preliminary final. So massive couple of days of football right across the Eastern District Football League. And don't forget, next week, Matty, Foxtel, and we know EDFL TV next week on the YouTube channel. So the presentation night will be on a Monday, and that's where we'll film EDFL TV with all the Foxtel crew.
Be great.
That'll be up Thursday night at 8:30 on Aurora 183. And I know you're looking forward to it, Matty.
Should be good, and we'll also be putting in the teams of the year as well, which will be read out at the vote count. They'll be read out again on TV. We know everyone can't come to the vote count, only the 10 or 12 from every club, a good 300 people there. So
I'll put you on the spot here, but it's obviously our last episode before the vote count. Give us your tip. Premier Division, Division 1 and Division 2.
Could have given me some time to think about it.
Drum roll.
Yeah, Premier Division. Patrick Rose has to poll very well, and you kick 105. It's kicked 107. So, Corrette always polls well.
Blonde bombshell down there at the Jets. That's
he's
good looking rooster.
Yeah, he is, and I think Harris would poll well, but I think he missed 3 or 4. And there's another kid, Trent Lee from Arundel Park, is extremely good. Brown's the other one, so they're my main ones.
I don't think we'll have 6 joint winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Matty, so give us one.
Andrew Brown, Keilor.
Andrew Brown, Keilor, Division 1.
Division 1, I think, I'm going to say a surname, Caruso, will win the competition.
Okay, so one of either two.
Yes.
And Division 2?
I think Osaki, the Irishman, O'Halpin, can win it. He's been sensational this year, and he's just so mobile, and he's very... I think the umpires know he has. Yeah, he has a great presence, good personality, and I don't think he talks back to the umpires because his lingo is not that good, so okay. I'm tipping he should get the chocolates there.
All right, there we go. They're Matty Pillios' tips for the EDFL presentation night, which is next Monday. Don't forget, Foxtel next Thursday, 8:30pm, Aurora 183. We'll see you then.
And some great articles, Mick Pell on sndfl.com.au.